Hello, this may or may not be RJ City, and you're listening to Count It Out with Mike and Tyler, or you're watching it, or you've decided you don't like their faces, so you've closed your eyes and you're just listening to it, which is the best way, I think, because don't they have some voices? Go ahead, close your eyes. I'll hear you guys later.
Well, we are.
No.
Live.
You haven't earned it. You haven't earned it back yet. You haven't earned it back yet.
We
are live, pals.
Tyler. Listen.
No.
First of all, we are live, pals.
You abandoned me for 2 weeks.
You replaced me with TJP.
You damn right I did.
What the hell, man?
Counted out with Mike and TJ.
That actually does flow a lot better. Here's my take
Eric
on
Bischoff
that.
approved.
Oh, okay. I was just about to say, before we get started, we have to mention that we have been sealed of approved by the legendary Bill Apter. But what I was gonna say is fantastic job on your interview last week with TJP. I think personally that is the best interview that you have ever done. Not that you've done poor interviews in the past, but a lot of your solo interviews, you've been very fortunate that the people that you talk to are just so amazing. And you would just be like, hello, and you didn't have to do anything. But with TJP, you guys were just having great conversation. He was telling great stories. Yeah, but like your question and timing, they were on point. Your questions were fantastic. Great research you did for those.
It also helped that TJ may have been one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, but his stories were great. But your timing was great. I thought you did a fantastic job. That was a great interview.
Well, thank you. And you know what? I'm not one. It's very hard for me to pat myself on my back, but I'll do it this time because I'm gonna give myself the old Barry Horowitz.
As you should.
That was probably my favorite interview I've done to date.
Yeah.
I had the freedom, like there was nothing against some of our other guests or their handlers, but sometimes, we kind of have a collar on us where we have to talk about certain things or we're not allowed to talk about certain things. And that's fine. That's part of the game.
That's when we do our media work, right? But when we book our own interviews, it's a fair game.
100%. But when it comes to something like TJP, when I set this up privately, and I ask him beforehand, you and I always do this. We're very respectful. Is there anything you don't want to talk about? But when they tell me, I'm fair game, it's not because I want to go and ask them controversial questions. It's so that I feel free just to ramble and to do my thing. Mm-hmm. And it makes it so much easier. And I think that's why it flowed so well with me and TJP. And we had a great time together. We really did.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, don't get me wrong. I love doing our media work for Impact Wrestling and for AEW when we do it and whatnot. But you're right. With that stuff, it's media work. We're doing a job. It's not like we're just going out and booking our own stuff. Impact Wrestling, for example, they're very gracious enough to reach out to us and say, hey, we got this guy. They'll give us a time limit and say, hey, it's Impact Media. So obviously, for example, in a couple minutes, we're going to throw to an interview with PCO. It's not like Impact's going to give us PCO and be like, hey, let's talk about when you were a pirate. Right. That would be stupid on their part. Why would they do that?
Exactly.
So, and I love doing our media work with Impact. It's fantastic. But there's just something so liberating as a podcaster, as an interviewer, as a host of this show.
When the reins are off, it's a lot easier to
get. It feels so good too, like when you reach out to these people and you set it up yourself and you did that. Like you got all the TJP.
There is a bit of pride in there knowing that I worked hard to get this.
Yeah.
There are certain interviews you and I have done in the past that did not come easy to us. It came with weeks and weeks and weeks of emails and phone calls, some of them text messages. I worked my balls off to get Bill Apter, but we got him. You worked your balls off to get Eric Bischoff, but we got him. Those things,
Eric wasn't that bad. Dory Funk was hard.
He wasn't that hard. Dory Funk was a lot of work for you. So those ones I take a lot of pride in, not because I don't appreciate the ones that have been basically gift wrapped for us, but because you know what, we worked hard for that too. We worked very hard to get in the good graces of Ross Foreman Impact Wrestling. You know, they don't email every single little podcast out there. They have a select few.
No, it took me months and months and months of hard work and months of you and I producing a credible show.
But as we always say, we are not first and foremost an interview podcast. We've been trying to cut back on them for your listening pleasure, because we love to bring you these lists.
As we're about to throw to a interview shortly.
But this is just a short interview, and then we are coming back with the list this week.
How about we throw to the interview now, actually, and then let's have a conversation. I want to talk a little Barrie wrestling. Great fun show. I know you got a couple things you want to talk about, and let's kind of
first and foremost, thank you to our good friend Coke Zero Contact. Adam took over this interview with PCO so that Tyler could focus on work and I could focus on my interview with TJP, because they were happening within like 12 hours of each other. So thank you to Adam for taking this interview for us
and for filling in for me while I was gone.
Yeah, that's right. So let's do it, man. Let's throw to Adam and Perfect Creation One himself. We're doing PCO.
He's alive and he's on Count It Out. We're so excited. This is an interview we have been dying for, pardon the pun, for a long time. PCO is finally here with Count It Out with Mike and Tyler. I'm going to be substituting for Mike and Tyler today, but PCO, welcome. We're so honored to have you on the show.
Yeah, man, it's cool. I know we had like a few emails before, and I tried to put it together so we could have this interview. So I'm glad that we're doing it now.
You know, like ships in the night, we keep passing each other, but when you're out terrorizing wrestlers all over the world, like, you know, you get busy. I get it 100%. And speaking of all over the world, let's start with some really exciting news. Impact Wrestling is coming to Australia for the first time ever, coming up on Friday, June the 30th and Saturday, July the 1st. Now, as an Impact fan, I'm so pumped to see the company grow globally. And as a member of the roster, that must be pretty exciting for you as well. What do you think you're most excited about when Impact goes down under?
I think it's the fact that the fans wanted to see PCO there for a long time. I mean, I've had like, there's a few other good promotions over there down in Australia, and they all try to get me on, and like I just couldn't make it, you know. And then it's been like almost 4 or 5 years that we're trying to book something for myself. I'm just talking about myself right now. But the fact that those same people are going to have the chance to see PCO and Impact Wrestling and all the roster and everything, that's going to be pretty amazing. Because personally, I know it was a lot of interest to have me there. I've had like talk with promoters, like I said, for the last 5 years, and I just couldn't make it happen. And now I'm going to Impact. What can I ask? You know, for any better than that? It doesn't come any better than that.
And there's a good chance you'll be representing them as their world champion when you go as well. More on that in just a little bit. Now, PCO, I know this interview is supposed to be all about you, but I really wanted to get your opinion on a really unique wrestler that we saw in TNA's X Division around 2003. Big mass guy, really could hold his own with all the smaller high flyers, an early adopter of the idea that the X Division is not about weight limits, it's about no limits. And his name was X. And he only graced our televisions for a few months before disappearing completely. So I just want to ask your personal opinion. Why do you think things didn't work out for that guy during that first run? And do you think that setback might have turned out to be a blessing in disguise for him in the long run, wherever he is today?
Yeah, of course it was. And it's so funny because when I did X Cut was there. Well, I think it was a financial, back then it was pretty much, I mean, it was the company has just started not too long ago when I was there, and I was in Montreal, and my flight were expensive, and for a new company, and my salary and everything. So I just think it was just the financial things. That's my take on it. I never ask anybody, but I can tell you when I started, like almost 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, as with Honor No More, back in Impact. Scott Demore, every time he would see me, I'm so glad X is back. I'm so glad X is back. That was his main liner, you know. So that was pretty cool. That was pretty awesome.
That's I can end the interview right there. Hearing that may be the highlight for me for sure. And by the way, all of you listening and watching, if you want to see that X guy in action, I highly recommend subscribing to Impact Plus or Impact's YouTube Ultimate Insiders channel. You can go back and see some of that stuff. Very impressive and ahead of his time. Now, you talked about it, showing up, shocking the world as part of Honor No More at Hard to Kill last year. My job was certainly on the floor when it happened. So walk us through the emotional roller coaster that you must have been on that day, from when you got to the building to when it was all over. What were you feeling that day?
Felt pretty good knowing that I was gonna join, you know, pretty much a lot of the guys that I knew, you know, like David was there, Bennett, Maria. So I felt good because I felt like, okay, I'm not starting fresh on my own, you know, like like when I started in Ring of Honor, like I didn't know anybody basically. I was just starting on a note where it's like you got to know the whole locker room, like so that was different that time, and it made the transition a little bit better. And then right from the get-go, I mean, fans were like so awesome. It was just, it made the whole story, you know. They were just cheering for PCO, so it was pretty awkward because it was Honor No More, but it was like just a different chant for myself or for the monster. So it was, to me, it worked out. I think it worked out perfectly. I don't know if the outcome was what everybody was hoping for, but to me, we ended up like with the last right match, like at Rebellion too long ago. So
Yeah,
we pulled a lot of juice out of that Honor No More angle.
well, yeah, I mean, there's no question 2022 was a huge year, and you hit the ground running, literally in some cases, and you had some of the biggest matches of the year, big, huge brawls with the likes of Jonah, Luke Gallows, Heath, and of course, Eddie Edwards, not to bring up a sore spot there, and each one never failing to make fans gasp with legitimate, horrific damage that you put yourself through. So my question is, how? How do you do it? Every time we Impact fans watch you, it's mind-boggling to us how you're able to walk away from the carnage that you suffered through. So is there some sort of secret to your survival, or are you truly, just as fans say, just not human?
Yeah, I like to believe that I'm not human. You really like, I've never been like on shows like touching wood, like when I'm saying that, but never been like to a physiotherapist or massage or getting worked on after a show. It's like, it's pretty much, you know, I'm walking in and walking out and going to my room, and that's it, you know. And I pride myself on that pretty much. But I do a lot of work during the week where I know I'm going to bed pretty early, I'm getting up pretty early. You know, stay away from alcohol, stay away from, you know, a lot of things. And then all my life is oriented around my career. Basically, the 95% of my life is oriented around my career. That's all I do. That's all my life. It's all put into those weekends where, okay, maybe I give my body a lot of shocks, both ways, you know, electrically and physically. But in the meantime, I do take care of my body during the week. So it's not like I'm abusing all the time. I'm taking care of myself so I can abuse it when it's time to abuse it.
Also, if I may just put it out there, I also think there's something in the water in Quebec. I don't know what it is, but wrestlers that come out of that province, man, tougher than nails, man. Just you guys can put yourselves through a whole lot more than just us regular folks. So, yeah, I think there's something in the water as well. Now, speaking of that kind of rough incidents that you've been through over the last year, is there any one that sticks out for you as being like, oh, that was a particularly hard match, or like this thing really took a lot out of me? Does anything immediately pop into your head?
Yeah, it's been a while. It was with the Ring of Honor, and it was when I did the malfunction, and I'm diving where there's nobody basically because I'm losing track of where am I and what's going on. There's too much electricity in my brain, so I hit the ropes and I hit on the wrong side and I was flying so far and so high that I cleared the mats and I landed on the cement and I ended up with 14 stitches on top of my left eye, which is my good eye too. So 14, like 10 on the outside and 4 on the inside. And I remember while she was sewing me, the the nurse was sewing me, and I had some people from the dojo taking care of me, and I asked them to record, like to tape me while I was saying, "I'm not you, man. That's good. It's good. I'm not human." And the nurse is going crazy.
You're
I
sick,
still got
man.
that video. I
You're
got that
sick.
video.
You're a
Yeah,
sick
yeah,
man, but we love you for it. We absolutely do
yeah.
love it for it. I do have to ask though, because we've seen recently a few hardcore legends showing the adverse effects of their thrilling and dangerous style in the ring. So, do you ever worry about the consequences you could face in the future with the punishment that you're putting yourself through today?
I feel like that's my own feeling. We'll see in a few years, but I feel like I'm protected from that. Like uh, I got all my members. Like maybe they're coming from someone else, but fun- they're all functional. They're all like without pain, and the most important ones are the hips and the knees, and I moonsault every night or I do like, crazy bumps all the time. So, yeah, so far so good. And I think, I always really pride myself on the way I've learned. It was really bump oriented. Like before we did anything, we had to. I think I spent probably 3 to 4 months bumping on the floor before. I was looking at the ring and I couldn't wait to get into that ring. I was looking at the other wrestlers and I could, when is the day that I'll be able to hit the ropes and bump on those boards? Instead of bumping on the cement floor or on the hard floor and with no mats. And I was getting slammed, 2, 3 times a week during the first 3, 4 months of my wrestling school. It was all outside the ring. There was nothing inside the ring. So it gave me like a really, really good base and it gave me confidence. And then after that, if I was playing hockey and we were down 2 goals and I was playing like a pretty high level, like college for La Salle College, for Andre Laurando College, and I had like some NHLers coaching me, like Lacombe from the Quebec Nordics was one of my coach, and was other guys too. And I would take off my skate, I would go on the bench or on the coach's chair, and I would just do a front flip in the middle of the room. I say, "Come on, guys, let's get them!" And everybody was going crazy. And the coach couldn't believe what I was doing.
You were malfunctioning even back then.
Yeah.
Of course, all the things we've talked about up to this point, Honor No More, the huge year you had in 2022, the risks you've taken, they've all paid off in a big, big way because Friday, May 27th from London, Ontario, it's you versus Steve Macklin for the Impact World Championship in the main event of Under Siege live on Impact Plus, YouTube Ultimate Insiders, and on the Fight app. I have to ask, what does it mean for you to receive this kind of opportunity, especially in your native Canada?
Well, it's very special because it's in Canada, and also very special because it's like I've had like quite a lot of titles. If pretty much all the ROH title except the TV one, the WWE tag titles, the hardcore WCW title, and I think it adds up like so much to the legacy or legendary whatever. To me it's very important, but also it's very important because I feel like we have grown the character so much in the past 2 years, in the past year and a half. Like we have now I'm pretty much where I wanted to be, and there's a lot of untapped potential. We have, we haven't brought the straw yet. We haven't used the jumper cables as much as I would like to. We haven't electrocute me that much yet. Like I haven't used the electricity to the full potential. We haven't put like the Destro on the cage because he couldn't do something and he could do something else or whatever. It could be so, intriguing and so unpredictable and so cool. There's so much to do with this character, and I'm so happy the way now that we're in my entrance with the smoke and the black and white and the 1931 Frankenstein style, and being so close to the roots of that movie, where now I'm dressing up all in black with almost the whole style, the 1931 style.
It's
That's why I'm so pumped. So that's why I can close my eye, and the feeling in new Impact World Heavyweight Champion PCO, and then just living that moment all day long.
That's exactly what I want to see happen as well. As a big fan, and I think that's what we're going to get for sure. And a quick reminder, if you want to be one of those in attendance going crazy for PCO, tickets for Under Siege are on sale now at impactwrestling.com. And let's talk about the fan reaction that unquestionably you're going to be the fan reaction you're going to be the fan favorite heading into that match, as you usually are, no matter who you face in Impact. Even with Honor No More, you consistently got the loudest crowd reactions of whatever audience you perform in front of. Can you tell us what that feels like when you hear a crowd come unglued for whatever it is that you're doing in the arena?
It's sometimes I'm so caught up in the moment that I have to rewatch the match to really get to see what was the attention that I got. But like it's really crazy because I feel like I've got like both ends of the deal tied up, like where I have so many kids coming up to me, you're my favorite wrestler, and I have like almost my generation or 10 years younger where, oh, it's crazy what you're doing, I don't know how you're doing it. So I got so much space of generation in between, and it feels like it touches every generation. And just like the last show I was on, like I've seen so many of my T-shirts. So different people's wearing my shirt, different group of age, and so many young kids too. So I don't know what it is really for me because I'm into it, like I'm living it. So I cannot analyze it because I'm not on the outside. I'm inside, and it's just so hard for me to grasp what is the phenom there, but what phenomenon happens. But like it's super cool to see all those kids, tripping and having like a blast with the monster PCO.
Well, no doubt Under Siege is going to be a phenomenon, and I should say good luck, but I know you don't need it. Macklin should be terrified of what you're going to do to him on May the 27th. Bring that belt back home to Canada, PCO. Thanks for spending some time with our listeners before you rip Macklin apart. Thanks for being on the show.
Oh, it was awesome. Thank you so much.
I mean, as always, Adam hits a home run.
Yeah.
Adam is like,
I forgot he was X, by the way.
that popped me so hard.
Totally forgot about that.
Yeah, that was a great, and I do highly recommend checking out X's work. Like he was crazy for a couple weeks. X is like the pre-cum of PCO. All right, I'm back.
All right.
I'm back. I missed you, buddy. It was I hate taking time off from the show. As you know, this is my baby and this is my escape from the world, and I love doing this. I love sitting down with you once a week and just forgetting about the world and having fun with one of my best friends on the planet. A lot of changes in my life have been going on. Not that anybody is listening there, but I want to say thank you to everybody at my prior job. Really made the old boy feel a little bit of love on my way out. I've started a new career, which is why I had to take a couple of weeks off. Very exciting.
This is where we play Changes by Ozzy Osbourne in the background, right?
I was going to say by Tupac.
I'm going through changes.
See no changes. All I see is racist faces.
No.
Not it. Tupac, baby. But yeah, that's why I was off for a couple of weeks. So now that I am working kind of a day job Monday to Friday with, I can't fully get out of the restaurant business. I got to serve a couple days a week still to keep it in my blood.
When I'm out, man. I can't wait till I'm out.
Serving feels like a day off. I had a great night tonight serving, but yeah, thank you to everybody for helping me make my transition. Everyone between my job, for you for covering the reins while I was gone, for Adam for stepping in, for TJP. You did all right, kid. And now we can finally. Was TJP, by the way, our first New Japan Pro Wrestling contracted guest? Maybe.
I'd have to look into the archives for that. You might be right. I'm not.
We've almost got every promotion. I think New Japan is like a big one that we were missing, but like he's signed.
Yeah, I know he is a New Japan boy. Like
the only thing we haven't done yet is like contracted WWE. Oh no, we had Tyson Kidd. He was contracted. Yeah.
The TJs come through for us, man.
He's the best. The TJs all the way.
The TJs they got us the two elusive. This is I think we have a contracted wrestler from every major.
Have we done ECW
right now, except for maybe MLW?
Have we ever done an ECW guest?
Yeah, just incredible.
And Devon Dudley. Boom.
And Devon Dudley. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at us.
Maybe we need an MLW guy.
We had Alicia too. She was MLW when we had her.
True enough.
Look at us go,
man.
We're the best.
No wonder Bill wrestlers. No
wonder Bill Apterfield approved us.
Before you get into your weekend at Barrie, there, I want to have a couple things I want to talk about. Well, at least one thing first, because your shirt brings up something I want to talk about.
I wore it for a reason.
Yeah, I know you did, man. I gotta throw it out to a few people right now. There's a big match coming up. If I was smart enough, I would have wrote down the date right here. I'll get it there. Seaway Wrestling and Destiny Wrestling are coming together for a big cross promotion show. And their main event is fucking huge. I don't know if this is huge for everybody in the world, but it's huge for us, man. It's our boy McCray Martin, the hot stepper. He is the current Seaway Valley Wrestling champion. And he's taking on. He is, dude. And that's why it's the main event, because he's putting up that title against the one and only Dirty Dango. He's going to get weird over there. Let me tell you guys, if you haven't figured this out, if you don't know this, if this is news to you, I gotta tell you why this is so special to us. This is really cool for us as part of like the Counted Out family. We have a couple other podcasts that are part of our family. First and foremost, the R3 podcast with Jonah.
Yes.
Jonah if anybody who hasn't listened to Jonah's show, R3 is where they take a current up and coming star from the indies and they match him with a legend, and they have a double interview right there on the show. It's a great concept, great show. I highly suggest check it out. Well, when McCray Martin was on the show, probably 2 years ago, I'd say almost.
Yeah.
He was teamed up with Fandango.
And R3 so
Dango.
And we were friends with Hot Stepper, and we kind of help. There's been a couple guys that we feed to Jonah. There's a couple guys we really love and over here, and we try to help them get some exposure. And Jonah fantastic host, but he trusts us also. Silly boy. But
so Jonah's excited as hell, knowing that for the very first time ever, two people who are paired together on R3 are wrestling against each other in a main event.
I do, and I do think it is the first time that somebody on a show, maybe the second time. I feel like maybe it's happened once.
I asked him, he said this is a first. I don't know.
Really, eh?
That's what Jonah says. Jonah said it's a first.
We'll have to get
Jonah's super excited. I told him I'm going to hook him up with Emilio. He wants to sponsor the match. So
that'd be great. Emilio's a great guy.
Let's see if that happens.
I ran into Emilio. He came up to Barrie Wrestling. I was talking to him a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah, Barrie Wrestling. Can I segue into that? Because Hot Stepper was there.
Let's go for it.
Well, first of all, I know we talk about Barrie Wrestling all the time and how great it is, and because we work with Barrie Wrestling, blah 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 blah. Listen, I'm going to talk to you right now. I'm going to take the bias that I have and the love that I have for Barrie Wrestling out of the equation. And I want to talk to you as a wrestling fan. Please go out of your way to purchase IWTV. And when it comes out, probably later probably by the time you're listening to this or a couple days after.
They usually take about a week or two.
They usually put it out on the Thursday after, unless something happens.
Yeah.
You have to stop what you're doing. Watch the opening contest from this event called Cream, Cage Rules Everything, something or other. I don't know. There's a Wu-Tang song that just sounds dirty.
Yes.
Young Jay Lee and the Hot Stepper put on one of the greatest matches I've ever seen live in person. To the point where
look at this. Look at all the surprise in my face.
I know, right?
Young Jay Lee is one of the greatest wrestlers on the indie circuit, and McCray Martin is up there too. So
he's right up there.
I'm surprised.
So my whole family came up to this event, which was really cool. My mom, my nana, my sister, her fiance, and my three brothers came up, and they're not wrestling fans. My one brother will casually watch it. He'll message me and be like, "Oh, Logan Paul,"
yeah.
But they all were just like, "Holy shit, this was awesome. This match was awesome." And I thought maybe it would be the Barrie Wrestling match of the year up until the main event happened with the steel cage match with Reverso and Gabriel Fuerza and all the stuff in the middle. This was one of the best live wrestling cards I've ever seen in person. Especially on the independent level, this might be the best show that I've ever attended for Barrie Wrestling.
Thanks for making me feel like a piece of shit for missing it.
I begged you to come to this one. I know you had to work. I get it.
No, I didn't have to work. My son had a performance. My son was in a play that day. I would have skipped work.
Yeah.
I can't skip my son's shit.
He wouldn't remember. It's okay. Your wife would though.
Trust me. And the kid would too. The kid's not 1, he's 5.
Oh, damn, those smart kids. As you could no, I can't say that actually. I was told to keep that a secret, sorry. But we had a great show bumper at the beginning of this show, so that's all I'm gonna say. You'll know when you hear it, Mike. Hey, EW.
What were you told not to say? We know where he works.
Yeah, well, we just found that in the stocked archives of Counted Out from a couple of years ago.
You can still call him what he is.
EW. He's a great, nice man.
Yes.
Hot up and comer there, that young lad. That was in our show bumper this week.
Yeah.
I do want to.
He's been up and coming for fucking 25 years.
Also, great surprise. Trent Seven showed up at Barrie Wrestling. Kind of a little last minute deal that got put together there. Super fun time. He did a great spot with Stratosphere, laid him out. Alexi Nicole got a big win. They had a nice pose down together. Really cool moment for me. It was after the show. I was walking by him. We just were walking past and he stopped and he grabbed me and he said, "Hey, you did a great job tonight." And that's a fucking NXT 2-time tag team champion, man. That's
right, man.
That's some big praises right there.
That's up there with Adam's story about Cody Deaner on our show a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that was
shit.
super cool when Cody Deaner did that. You know, this was just kind of a. I love that Deaner did that in front of a crowd for Adam. That's such a cool
But it doesn't
moment.
need to be in front of the crowd. The fact that he showed you that kind of respect, that's
Yeah,
fucking
it was.
badass,
Man, it really made me feel good. I got a lot of good feedback on my performance this time. I got to do a fun angle with Kyle Boone and Shiloh, who, my God, heat magnets they are. Kyle he unfortunately is injured legit as a shoot, and he had to relinquish a Barrie Wrestling heavyweight title. He then proceeded to try to set it on fire. tune into IWTV to see if I could save the day or not. But yeah, it was just a fun time, man. I had a lot of good people there. I was so pumped up. Like, we talked about the hot stepper, and if you got to check him out, man, to be in the ring, because he was the first guy out of the curtain, and to feel the energy that he brings into the ring, fantastic stuff. But yeah, top to bottom, this was something fantastic. And they're already hyping up the next show pretty good. We got a fatal 4-way to crown the new Barrie Wrestling heavyweight champion at Golden Glory 6. So far announced, and that is Clutch Jesse V and John Atlas.
Can I call Sean out on something here?
Yeah.
Sean is dangerously close to old TNA waters here. You know, TNA's pay-per-views all sound like fucking gay porns for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What, Golden Glory? Cream?
You're coming off Cream with Golden Glory. We're dangerous. We're in dangerous fucking territories here.
But either way, John Atlas and Clutch Jesse V are going to be in that. 2 more names to be announced. Check out Barrie Wrestling on their social medias, as well as a big tag team match announced with Rajan Husher, who you're becoming quite a big fan of.
I haven't met the guy live yet. I haven't seen him at a show because I haven't been to a show in several months. But I've been watching him on every promotion he's been part of. I've been watching on IWTV and Fight TV and stuff. He's got this young Jimmy Jacobs vibe that I'm digging so much. I can't wait to see him live for the first time. I'm really digging this guy.
He's fantastic. He actually started a program with Alexia Nicole at Destiny Wrestling.
Nice.
And that next Destiny show is going to have Steve Macklin and Deonna Purrazzo on it, I believe. So that is fantastic. Check that out. But yeah, so it's going to be Rajan Husher and his higher power, whoever that may be, going up against our boy Van Landen and the returning Von Vertigo. Throw the V's up there. So big tag team match for Van Landen.
I'm calling it right now. The higher power is Holden Albright.
Oh, that would be cool. I thought you were gonna go. The higher power is me, Austin. It's me.
No, that's my prediction. I know Holden's been away from Barrie for a bit. He's been quiet. We haven't heard a lot from him. Last time I did see him was in a program with Van. I think, and he does play that weird, mysterious fucking character. He's the higher power, man.
Interesting.
You heard it on Count It Out first.
All right, man. Well, maybe we can get your ass up here. You know what? You have to come to the next show. It's June 10th. It's the day after my birthday. I'm having a party after. You'll be the only person there because nobody likes me.
Wait, June 10th.
Yeah.
Let me look at my calendar. I think I already booked that off. Is that Comic-Con weekend?
Yes, it is.
I already booked it off, so I could go I could go get my Royal Rumble poster signed by Ric Flair.
Get us some show bumpers.
Well, you're coming too, dildo.
Well, maybe.
Well, you told me you were. That's why I booked it off. You fuck.
Well, I gotta do my birthday's on the 9th, so I can't go on the 9th. The 10th is Barrie Wrestling, so maybe on the Sunday we go.
Well, Flair. Well, yeah.
Woo!
We talked about going on the Sunday.
I do kind of remember that. I drink.
Yeah, I know you do.
All right, man. Well, that's my Barrie Wrestling take. That was
it's amazing. I can't wait to see Cream on IWTV or X Videos, wherever else, or Pornhub, wherever else you're going to see it. I have a little hypothetical I want to throw at you before we get into the list this week. It came out in the news this week. Whether this is true or not, who knows? This is apparently this is all hearsay. We have not heard it from the actual source. So take this as rumor. We are not a news site. We are not reporting the news here. But there's a rumor going around that has been suggested, highly suggested by his doctors, that Randy Orton no longer wrestle. So I want to take that news and I want to roll with it. I want you and I to talk. Let's say Randy takes that news and say, all right, I'm going to have one last match and then fuck off. Who do you book Randy against in his last match in professional wrestling? And it's got to be in WWE.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I think you have a couple obvious ones. I think a lot of people would pay good money to see him and John Cena one last time.
Yeah.
I think Edge is also a very obvious answer.
Mm-hmm.
Obvious doesn't always mean correct, but it's definitely safe. You know what I mean? It's you know that no matter what, you're going to get a good match and you're going to make money. But is that the way you go? Do you go safe or do you go something different?
You need to build. You need to put it with somebody that's going to lead your company going forward. So, like, I wouldn't put this as my first choice, but you want somebody like Cody.
Okay. I was going to say, so Randy and Cody.
Cody
would be on my list.
You want maybe somebody like Riddle.
Okay. I don't see Riddle being the head of the company ever. I really don't.
No, but a big program as Randy Orton's final thing that bumps his stock up a bit. You want somebody like that. You want Randy to give a rub.
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor would be a great choice as well.
I got two.
Braun Breaker.
Okay, man.
I mean, I wouldn't be my first choice either, but
to give the guy some clout, to give him a really big win, maybe a Dominic Mysterio.
Dominic Mysterio would really use that well.
You want a big story. You want
Austin Theory.
If you want a big story match, a big everyone's going to talk about it match, Logan Paul's the way to go.
Yeah, it depends what you're going to do with him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I would go maybe a little bit younger, like those guys for sure. I'm just looking at the WWE roster right now.
Right.
But you can't
really go wrong with the safe bets either, though, man. Like I'm not going to complain if it is him and Cena one last time.
You know, I thought like
Edge one last time.
If his back is in that bad a shape,
that's what he wants to do.
If his back is in that bad a shape, though, I would maybe do a 6-man tag, and I would have, or even an 8-person tag, and I would have like Randy, Edge. And I would do 6. I would do Randy, Edge, and Riddle against whatever, like the Bloodline or against, right? Because that way he's protected, or against Judgment Day.
If he's in that bad a shape and he needs to do that, sure.
Right? Rated RKO and RK Bro against Judgment Day or against the Bloodline.
That makes sense if he's that fucked up and he can't handle a singles match. But I'm running in a hypothetical world there that saying that he can do one last match.
I would go with Cody personally. I would go with Cody.
I think Cody's not a bad answer at all.
Because Cody's safe. He's safe also, right?
I was about to bring up Seth Rollins, but if you're going to talk about safe, then...
Come on now.
Have we gotten Orton and AJ Styles?
Yes, they fought at a WrestleMania, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, the forgotten feud. Whoa! Here's a name for you. Good Lord. Here's a name for you. What about Solo Siaki? Jeez.
Excuse me. Yeah, that's money right there, man. I'd pay for that.
I mean, that's where I would go. I'd want to use that name to build something, but I mean, I wouldn't complain at anything. I hope Randy's okay. I hope we haven't seen the last of him. But now, if Randy retires, get it out, Mike. You got one more in you or what?
I've got my finger on the mute button just in case.
Well, I mean, you already let 3 monsters out. It's
because I couldn't get to it in time.
If we're talking about Randy Orton right now, where do you put him all time WWE? Is he in your top 7? If we were doing all-time WWE wrestlers?
Yeah, we've talked about this before.
And I'm not going to say
Me
male or
me-
female. I'm going to say all-time greatest wrestlers in WWE.
This is a subjective list, so there's no right and wrong here. I'm not going to argue with somebody if they have them on or don't have them on. For me personally, if I'm listing my top 10 who made an influence on how I watch wrestling, he's in my top 10.
Top 10, I think for sure. Top 7, I have to do some research.
I'd have to do some work on that, but yeah, top 10 I could say with ease. Top 7, that's hard. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah. Yeah, Randy Orton's like the Sting of the WWE. He never went anywhere.
Yeah.
And he's proud of that. He's really proud of that.
And he's I loved how he trolled Khan for a while, made him think he was gonna go over there.
He's funny, man. He's a funny guy. His Twitter game was real strong.
Oh, before we're gonna go from career-ending injuries to talking about career-ending finishers. Before we get into the list, is there anything else you want to talk about?
I just want to go on record and say I'm still not down for this new world title. I want that to be still known.
This isn't the Counted Out with Tyler hates the new title podcast. Nobody cares.
I hate it, but I will say I want to tip my cap.
2 straight weeks of you not having to hear about this shit.
I will make sure it's heard until I'm proven wrong, and I hope I am proven wrong. I also want to tip my cap to AEW. 67,000 tickets sold for Wembley Stadium is pretty fucking impressive.
It's a good show.
I don't give a fuck if it's a good show right now. Right now, good on them, man. 67,000 tickets is a great number for any company, especially for AEW. That's massive.
So right now, selling tickets doesn't seem to be their problem.
It's a big problem for them. Shows. Their ratings are shit. Their attendance hasn't been.
But they're selling tickets. Look how fast they sold out the Toronto dates.
Okay, that's because it's it is a unique market, and we're getting.
And Wembley's not.
Yeah, but there's a big difference between selling 16,000 tickets at the ACC and 67,000.
I'm not saying it's not a big deal. I'm saying I'm not ready to give them all this credit yet until I see the finished product, because
AEW
this is easily squandered.
AEW on weekly TV is a struggle. AEW on pay-per-view 9 times out of 10 is a home run.
I mean, I could say the exact same thing with WWE though.
Yeah,
because I struggle to watch Raw and SmackDown, but I haven't seen a WWE pay-per-view that I've disliked in quite a while.
Raw has been a lot better lately, but
I haven't been watching it in full. But I will say I love that Puerto Rico pay-per-view.
Oh my God, that was crazy. That crowd. Carlito, 100%. Stone Cold Carlito came out. Holy moly. You would thought Steve Austin came out.
You would think between him and Santino, or not Santino, but him and Savio Vega, you're thinking Stone Cold and Hulk Hogan came out together.
Unbelievable. At the Superdome, brother. At the Silver Dome, brother.
At the Silver Dome.
What do you think? What's your list this week? Well, what is it? I know you're doing like top moves that you wouldn't take, or is it finishes? What is it?
I'm taking top 7 finishers that you couldn't pay me to take in that fucking ring.
I told you what my number 1 is.
Every wrestling move ever.
You couldn't pay me to take an arm drag.
Dude, I've done my bumps, all right? I've done a little bit of training. I did a lot of backyard wrestling. I fucked around a lot.
I did backyard wrestling too. Backyard wrestling is different than...
But it's not on the level I did it though, because I was wrestling with trained guys in a real ring. You know what I mean? So like I took a Death Valley driver off the top rope. I'll take that before anything that I'm about to talk about tonight.
I won't even take a lockup.
And and I mean I won't take these moves from the people that invented them. Even no matter how professional the people are, I still won't take the fucking move.
It's all I can do to even lift my leg over the ropes.
These are moves.
Twice getting into the ring at Barrie Wrestling, I have squished my nuts against the ropes.
These 7 moves are moves that when I see them on TV, not only do they look dangerous, because some moves are meant to look dangerous. But for example, when I googled the most dangerous moves in wrestling, one of the moves that kept coming up was the Undertaker's jumping tombstone. I will let Taker do that tombstone to me all day long.
I'll let Taker do anything.
Because I've watched that. Taker's safe with it. But there's some moves, doesn't matter how safe or how good the wrestler is, something can always go wrong. These moves are just too unpredictable. These are the moves with too many variables, too much can go wrong in these 7 moves. So this isn't about dangerous wrestlers. These are about moves that I just don't trust. And we're going to start off with sort of a tie. There's 2 moves I'm talking about, my number 7. But the reason I'm talking about these 2 moves together is because they both have the same force on the same body part. They do the same thing to a person, which is why I wouldn't take either one of them. Number 7 is a tie between Finn Balor's coup de grace and Yokozuna's Banzai drop. Both moves which have such pressure, the full force of a human being right on the chest. Fuck that.
I would rather take the Banzai drop than the coup de grace.
I used to think
because
that. I watched so many clips. He doesn't. No matter how much Yoko wants to protect you,
if he wants to protect you, he will.
Yes, but even if he wants to protect you, he's still putting. No matter how much he tries not to pull his full weight on you, his half of his weight is still 300 pounds.
There are like when he doesn't let go of the ropes and lands on his feet first and comes down. That's him protecting you. But the ones where he just jumps up and fucking ass plats the jobbers.
Fuck that, dude.
You couldn't pay me to take that. I would die.
Me too. I don't know. I have a strong chest. I'll take Vader's Vader bomb.
Yep.
I'll take his Vader salt.
I don't know if I'd take the Vader bomb. Apparently he didn't wash his gear very often.
But I will not take that Banzai drop or the coup de grace. The coup de grace, like you have a man. He's not that big of a dude, but you have a man jumping from the ropes and then just like coming full force, double foot on your chest. Fuck you.
Fair.
No,
fair.
Hate that shit.
No arguments here.
My number 6 is a move perfected by 2 fantastic wrestlers whom I would trust in the ring. I just don't trust their finisher. Both Kenta and CM Punk are great in the ring, but you couldn't pay me to take the GTS.
Really? I don't think I this wouldn't be on my list.
It just
because you have control on the GPS to put your hand up.
Maybe I just don't trust myself then, because no matter how many times I watch it, every single time I could picture myself just eating that knee, just fucking messing my whole fucking face up. No,
I wouldn't put this.
That move scares the shit out of me.
This one for me, because you have a bit of control over this one. The Banzai, the coup de grace, you just got to sit there and take it. This one, you can get thrown up and you can put a hand up there.
Still scares the shit out of me.
Well, every move scares the shit out of me.
My number 5 has been around the Japanese scene for a very long time, but you're seeing it more and more, most likely in AEW, but I know in MLW, by a man named Brody Lee. Not Brody Lee, I'm sorry, Brody King. And we're going the Gonzo Bomb.
Refresh my memory. What is a Gonzo Bomb?
So the Gonzo Bomb technically was the original power bomb before the power bomb was made more safe.
Okay, yeah. I got you now.
So if you ever watch, Brody King does it a lot right now. He'll get you up and he pretty much has you on one shoulder, but then he'll slam you down. But instead of landing on your back and shoulders the way that Sid or Kevin Nash would put you down.
Well, not so much Sid, maybe.
Well, you're landing on your head. You're basically landing on your head and neck.
That especially is with the case with Darby Allin. Like Darby Allin makes that look fucked.
Yeah, I don't like it.
No. Yeah, I'm with you. I wouldn't take the power bomb from any of those guys.
Speaking of landing on your head and neck, no sir, we're going the Burning Hammer.
Ooh, yeah, I'm with you on this. Stay far away.
Scary shit. That's scary shit.
Burning Hammers, yeah.
It's legit built to drop you on your neck and the back of your head. If you're not getting a concussion or a stinger, like you might be breaking your clavicle. Like who knows? I've never seen that move and be like, okay, well, that was done right. That was done good. I've never, no, every time it's just like, nope, fuck no. Number three, you won't be surprised to hear this on the list because even though the man himself who invented it is one of the greatest wrestlers of our generation, I think he has hurt quite a bit of people with it. I can't
I know
believe
what
he's
you're
still
gonna say.
doing it to this day. We're going the Styles
I
Clash.
knew it. Yeah. You know
Nope.
why? You know why this move is so dangerous though? Is because as a wrestler, you're conditioned to tuck your chin.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's hard to unbreak your habits. Like we've seen that a couple times where Frankie Kazarian tucked his chin. James Ellsworth tucked his chin, right? Like
the fact that WWE like kept it going was surprising to me because
we wasn't allowed to do it for a
them,
while. Jericho fought for it.
We've seen them cancel out other finishers like that aren't as dangerous. We've seen them cancel out the stomp for quite a while.
Here's the thing,
they canceled out for remember for a while, maybe even to this day, nobody except for Jerry Lawler was allowed to do a pile driver.
Yeah, then Punk hit one randomly on Raw and everyone lost their mind. Here's the thing with the Styles Clash show. I'm gonna play a little argument on this one.
Okay,
it's not up to AJ whether that move is dangerous or not. It's up to you. If you just sit there,
okay, but this is but like I said in the beginning, this isn't about the wrestler. This is about the move.
Yeah.
So it's not a move I would ever want to take.
No, I wouldn't want to take any of them. But
for example, it's not on my list, but the Canadian Destroyer. It is so easy to execute. I have done Canadian Destroyers. It is not easy to be the victim.
Yeah, well, because you got to do the backflip.
Because you're doing all the work as the victim.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. So they it just didn't happen to make my list. But that's another. It is a move that I would do, but I wouldn't take because I don't trust myself to do it. And that goes hand in hand with the Styles Clash. I wouldn't take that move because I don't trust myself not to hurt myself on that move.
I would feel better taking the Styles Clash and other moves because at least I have control over my body more. You know what I mean? Like it's up to me whether I tuck my chin or I don't. Like, but the force of habit would make that difficult.
Well, that's it. I don't think I trust myself enough not to, because it's not like, okay, if I fuck this up, I might sprain my wrist.
No, you're dead.
No, you fuck this up, you might break your neck.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a no for me. My number two is a move that you and I have seen live a few times. For some odd reason, a lot done by women. I've seen it done by women a lot. But every time we've seen it, I've looked at you and I've shuddered because every single time it looked botched. Whether it was botched or not, I don't know, but it's always looked botched. And we're going with the reverse Frankensteiner.
I hate this move.
I hate it too. I don't think it can be done safely.
No. You're getting dumped on your head backwards.
Yeah. And it's basically just doing a backflip but not all the way. You're landing on your head.
Well,
it's ridiculous.
You're at your number one now, and I have two moves off the top of my head that I think should be on this list. So I'm interested.
I bet you neither are my number one. My number one was the inspiration for my list.
The people's elbow.
Watching a match. I was watching a match. I'll just throw it out there. It was an ECW match. Does that help you at all?
Nope.
So I was watching
then you have three moves actually that I can't believe aren't on your list.
I was watching an ECW match, and every time I saw I wasn't watching a match. I was watching a compilation of this particular wrestler. And every single time he hit his finisher, I shuddered. And I said to myself, man, this is a list right here. So I guarantee this is not one that you're thinking of right now. So we'll get to your honorable mentions right after we talk about the Tazplex.
Oh, the backwards like one? What one? The full Nelson one?
Yeah, the one where he like hooks his fucking arms and then just
that one? What about the full Nelson one, the tiger suplex?
I think maybe that's the one I'm talking about. The one where he like hooks his arms together. I don't know.
Well, there's two of them he
Whatever one
does. One of them is where he's got them, it looks like in the Taz mission, and then flips
Yes. Okay.
them.
So that's
And
the
the
one I'm
other one
talking
is the one where he puts them in a full Nelson
about. Okay.
and flips
Well, maybe
them.
maybe
Oh, I
maybe I
almost
would
fucking
take that
fell
one.
out of my chair there.
Either or, the one time where it starts with the transmission, every single time he
Right
drops
on
him
the
on
head.
his head.
He kind of does
Right
it
on the head.
sideways,
Every
right? It's like the
fucking-
head and
yeah.
arm Taz flex. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Fucking ridiculous.
But that's not a finish.
I have no reason to believe that the Taz was an unsafe worker, but I have no reason to believe he wasn't.
Can't be your number one though. It's not a finish.
Well, neither was the reverse Frankensteiner, so I obviously
Your list. Boo.
okay.
I have 3 that I can't believe didn't make your list. Vertebreaker.
I
Top
before any
killer.
of the other before any of the other moves I would, but I still wouldn't. No, like let's just say there's more than 7 moves I won't take.
Steiner screwdriver.
Refresh my memory on that one.
Scott Steiner picks you up like a suplex
Yeah,
and then twists you in the air and drops you in a pile driver. Like the Owen
I
Hart
don't
pile
like
driver.
that. No, I don't remember him ever doing that. But
Oh my God, Mike,
I don't
if
like
you were to see, I'm going to send you a clip of it while we're on air, and I want you to watch it, and I want you to
Okay.
maybe tell me this is your
Okay.
new number one. The other one,
Yeah.
Doomsday Device.
I'll take the Doomsday. I trust those boys.
But
I've taken a lot of Doomsdays.
You have to do a full-on backflip.
Yeah. No, I'll take a Doomsday.
All right. Well,
there are other what's it called? Tag finishes I'd probably not take before then. I've never had a problem with the Doomsday.
I've just sent you. Hold on now. Maybe do you want me to pull this up and we can watch this together, or do you want to just watch it on your phone? Because I can share. I can pull it up on YouTube.
Fuck up the show?
No, I
mess
can.
up the flow of the show here.
It won't mess up the flow of the show. We might get a copyright strike on it.
Well, see what you can do.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to share my screen
Oh.
right now.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna pull up YouTube right now. I'm gonna type in Steiner screwdriver, and we're gonna watch this together. Steiner math, of course, is the first thing that comes up.
Of course it is.
All right. So we're gonna pause this. Oh, did you hear that or no?
I hear nothing.
Wonderful. So let's go back to Zoom now. And let us share my screen. Let's see if I remember how to do this. Look at me go. I'm going to even share sound so you can hear it. All right. All right. We got
That'll be good for everyone listening on Spotify.
Can you see this, Mike?
I can, yeah.
All right. Here we go. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
マサさん今なんて言ったんですか？僕もよく聞かなかったですね。なんかとにかくもう決めてやるみたいなこと言ったんでしょうね。
We got Scott Steiner up.
さあ高々と抱え上げて、そのままデンジャラスにファイルドライバーだ。
I think he killed him. He looks dead.
Yeah, it's not exactly as bad as you made it sound.
Oh
Like
my
I thought
God.
he caught air.
Well,
I thought
and that was young Scott Steiner too.
yeah,
There's,
I know. I
there's
wouldn't
a couple.
let Scotty do shit to me now, but
Oh, here. How about a TNA one? Okay, last one. Here's
for all. But
here's
Petey
the
Williams
TNA
just struggling right now. He just think of the last 4 things that have happened to him. Steiner's got him up. Look at that strength holding him. Letting that blood rush to his head. Oh, what a pile driver. Here it is.
That's
I mean, it's just a sit down tombstone, and no one's ever been seriously injured from one of those.
I do not like that. I am going to stop sharing my screen, maybe. Question mark. Hey, I did it. Look at me, technology, man. Woo! You could not pay me to take a Steiner screwdriver. I'll take
Speaking
a Frankensteiner.
Speaking of sit down power bombs or sit down pile drivers, proud moment today. Finney was in what used to be my office and is now my baby's room, but I still have some of my office shit in there, so my masks are still in there. And Finn was looking at the Blue Blazer mask, so I showed him some pictures of the Blue Blazer. Proudest moment of my life, man. He flat out asked me, he's like, "Daddy, can we watch some Blue Blazer matches?"
Ah, let's go.
I almost cried, man.
Did you put
I
on
don't know when I'm
Mr.
gonna show-
Perfect WrestleMania 5?
That would be that's going to be on the list. I don't know what I'm going to start with, but
Mr. Perfect.
yeah, we're
Has
going to
to
watch
be.
the Blue Blazer, man. I'm happy.
I love that. Great theme song, too.
Yeah. All right, I think that's it today.
Yeah, I'm back. Next week, we will be joined by Pretty Ricky Wildley,
Yeah.
who will be talking about his great cause that he's working on. Dropkick for Devon, Saturday, June 10th in Brantford, Ontario. You'll hear all about that next week. And you may be there, you may not be there, but I will be counting down the top 7 comedy wrestlers of all time.
I hope I'm there because that's a great list. But if I'm not, Ricky's a good fill in there.
Well, he's going to be on for about 15 minutes. We talked before Barry Wrestling, and then I'll sub in like the tuxedo or something.
The tuxedo. No, not Jonah, just the tuxedo.
Just the tuxedo. I'm just going to put a broom on a tuxedo and carry it through the...
Yeah, you can use my mannequin mask head.
Well, since we've officially traded roles then, Mike, on behalf of the moves that neither one of us would ever take, and on behalf of Hard Mike, we have been counted out.
I didn't even have to make you say it.
Cheers.
Fucking cheers.